Okay, we should be going. I think. Let me check.
Yeah, let's make sure we have that down pat.
I think we're live. Yep, we're good. We're good. I will warn you, I'm a little sleepy. I had had my dinner and it's putting me to sleep.
You're going to sleep?
I made some nice chili, so I'm full and warm, and I did some chores around the house today. Wrapped some presents, hung up some pictures that I've been meaning to get to, tidied up a little bit.
Got a little ready for Christmas.
Yeah. Put the tree up, which consisted of pulling it out of the bag because all the ornaments are already on it, and it's like 1.5 feet tall.
I'll need to get a Christmas tree, at least a little one. But I'm never here for my own home for Christmas. So.
Yeah. Well, you can have it up throughout them. But yet, my mom had it up before Thanksgiving.
That's too early.
I agree, and she said normally I would do that, but I had some free time this week, and I needed to clean, so I just put everything up and then vacuumed because when you put up the tree and the she's got a thing that goes on like the banister, it drops the leaves.
Right. Oh yeah.
So she's like, "Well, I've got time now, and I'm gonna clean tomorrow, so I might as well do it now, so that way I don't have to clean tomorrow, put it up, and then clean again."
And you said, "No, that's not allowed."
No,
and you took it and you threw it up the chimney like the Grinch does.
No, he doesn't throw it up the chimney; he shoves it up the chimney.
That's the same difference. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
We're not doing that album, Cooper.
Even an album? The special has one song.
No, it's got the Bajudores.
Okay, 2 songs.
Right?
Yeah, they sing that
the
one.
only 2? Is there a third?
No. Unless you count that song they play whenever they're doing the sleigh thing down the hill, but that's more instrumental.
Yeah, that's true.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
You get up to anything today?
No, pretty low-key day. Just did some chores. Kind of finished up my Christmas shopping. Did some cooking. Made some Christmas cookies.
Ooh, what kind of Christmas cookies?
Just some regular chocolate chip cookies with some Christmas M&Ms in them.
So those aren't chocolate chip cookies then.
No, the chocolate chip cookies with M&Ms.
So M&M cookies. Cookies with M&Ms in. If there's no chocolate chips, it's not a chocolate chip cookie.
But there are chocolate chips in them.
Oh, you did
Plus,
both?
And M&Ms.
Oh,
yes.
my apologies. I misunderstood.
Samuel, I'm not gonna eat a cookie without chocolate chips in it.
Well, I figured if you were doing M&Ms, what's the point of having both?
For more chocolate.
Guess that's fair.
You silly man. Come on.
I need to test a sugar cookie recipe.
Ooh, I do like a good sugar cookie.
I found a recipe for royal icing, that hard icing that's on top of cookies. I need to give that a shot.
Ooh. Not gonna lie, that sounds pretty good.
We'll see how I'll have to give them a shot. Hopefully they don't turn out horrible.
I mean, they're cookies. That's how can you mess that up?
You'd be surprised. what if you're making the dough? This has never happened to me, but it's a fear I have. Anything that has eggs in, right? I never crack the egg directly in.
What do you mean?
Because what if it's bad?
What do you mean, what if it's bad? Eggs go bad if they're old, but...
Right, but what if they're bad? And you're cracking it into something you've already done a bunch of work on.
Just scoop it out?
No. Crack it into like a cup first, and then pour it in.
I mean, you can do that. More dishware.
Yeah, it's just a single cup. And you keep doing, if you have multiple eggs, you're just doing it in the same cup. You're just checking to make sure the egg's okay before you dump it in.
When's the last time you got a bad egg?
I've never had one, but I'm paranoid.
Well, there you go. Think of all the wasted... How many minutes have you wasted cleaning that extra cup?
I just throw it in the dishwasher, so none.
I don't know. Each their own, I suppose.
It's all like it's a tiny tumbler. Like what?
I like to taste the egg first, and then if it doesn't taste rotten, then I put it in.
I mean, I guess you can.
No, don't do that. Don't eat raw egg.
It's. I mean, technically, you can.
What?
Eat raw eggs.
I mean, you might get salmonella.
Very rare.
Well, very rare do you get a bad egg.
So you're
touche.
Yeah, you're advocating popping them directly into the batter. So you should be fine with eating raw eggs then.
No, not because you can see if they're bad before once you pop them in.
You can see the salmonella.
Exactly. Well, no, they all have salmonella potentially.
No, you can see it.
You can see the salmonella.
Yeah.
They're just kind of floating out there.
It is legally required to hold a sign.
They could get sued if you get sick from salmonella and they didn't tell you ahead of time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the law.
Exactly correct.
Well, yeah, pontificate long enough.
Sure.
I feel like we could...
Yeah, I think we've wasted enough time. Let's get on into the album. So hello everyone, and welcome back to the Audio Shop podcast. Apologies for canceling suddenly last week. I was convinced to go to a theater show.
You wanted to go. Which is good. It looked like a good show.
And I don't normally get out, so I was convinced to go to that. So we're normally we'd be doing Christmas music by this point, but we wanted to do a Fleetwood Mac album, as Christine McVie just passed away.
Yes, very recently.
2 weeks ago. Well, a week and a half. So we figured, hey, we did Rumors, which is arguably their most famous, so let's go with another really famous one, which is just Fleetwood Mac.
Their second self-titled album.
Yeah, because this is not their first album. This is much later.
Well, let's give a little bit of background on the Fleetwood Mac. They are an American-British rock band formed in London all the way back in 1967. Founded by guitarist Peter Green, drummer Mick Fleetwood, guitarist Jeremy Spencer, and then later joined on by John McVie and Christine McVie. So this one had the particular lineup of Christine and John McVie, Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks, and I believe John McVie on bass and Mick Fleetwood on the drums. So that's kind of the core group. A lot of their group itself had a lot of turbulent interrelations. But this was kind of the famously core of them. And they've sold pretty well, 120 million records over the course of their group's time. So, that's pretty good. And this album, Fleetwood Mac, is their 10th studio album. So they're pretty deep in their discography at this point, released in 1975. So, like I said, had that group on it. Peaked #1 on the US Billboard 200, so it did quite well for itself. And peaked 23 on the UK albums charts. And it's kind of considered the beginning of their best album run, which is between this, Rumors, Tusk, Tango and the Nine Behind the Mask. So it really kicked off Fleetwood Fever. Is a term I just came up with.
I'm sure
and
you
now
did,
recording.
yeah.
So yeah, very successful band, and this is them on their starting to reach their pinnacle.
But yeah, let's get into it then.
I say so.
With the first track number 1.
Track number 1, Monday Morning.
Oh, Cooper, it's Sunday night.
Now, track number 1, Sunday morning. No, wait, you messed me up.
Confused you.
Monday Morning.
Whenever I think of Fleetwood Mac vocal stylings, Lindsay's voice is the most clear cut. Yep, that's Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, it's funny because Lindsay's both Lindsay and Christine both have kind of androgynous voices.
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt.
Christine, I don't know about. I'm more confused with the names because there's Stevie Nicks, who is
which is a lady,
and
Lindsay,
who's a man.
No, but Lindsay's got a very androgynous voice. Christine maybe a little less so. Hers is a little husky, but but Lindsay's always kind of had like a. It's kind of hard to tell. If it's like a man or a woman singing it at times.
I've listened to Jamiroquai, so I'm going to disagree with you there.
You thought the lead singer of Jamiroquai was a African American woman. It's a white man.
I'd never seen the music videos.
Oh, you didn't see the Virtual Insanity one where he's walking around with the
I
furniture?
have now, and I've probably seen it before, but I didn't remember.
Good music video.
It is a very good music video. Very famous.
No, but Monday Morning is the opening track. A pretty straightforward rock song to kick things off, I'd say.
Yeah, fairly simple instrumental track. Breakout sections more interesting because of it. Makes interesting use of the tom-toms throughout, which kind of gives it a drum backing that you don't really ever hear, which I think helps quite a bit because the rest of it is pretty just plain buttered bread.
It's pretty meat and potatoes rock.
Yeah.
Obviously, Lindsay's on the vocals. You got a little electric guitar solo at 145 with a pretty straightforward drum and acoustic backing.
Yeah. Short and sweet. It's a rock song.
Yeah, song breaks up a little bit after the once you're on the final chorus. But it's a very definitive Fleetwood Mac song.
Yes. Yeah, no mistaking this for anyone else. Mainly because of the vocals. Jump to track number 2 if you're ready, Coop.
Yeah. Track number 2, Warm Ways.
And this one much slower. We're getting in. This is kind of I would argue this is probably more of a soft rock album than anything else.
Oh yeah, I mean, but beyond like maybe a couple songs of this album,
yeah,
this is definitively soft rock,
and maybe whatever's below soft rock, almost into hard folk. Is that the next step down?
I'm not sure if that's how music works, but
we need softer rock.
Softer rock,
whatever that description is. But this is not there yet. This is just soft rock. It does sound quite warm. I would say the title is pretty apt. The bass with the gentle guitar and the lightest touches on the drums, very, very light, not hitting them too hard. Very cozy feeling overall.
It's a very cozy song. I mean, a little subtle bass, some accented acoustic. Definitely going for a slower vibe. And of course, Christine's on the vocals on this
Mm-hmm.
one. Very smooth vocals. I've always kind of preferred her vocals to Lindsay's.
Yes.
Um, Not that Lindsay's is bad by any means, but I think hers, carries a little more character.
Well, yeah. Well,
Uh,
there's certainly one song on this album where that's ever most apparent.
yeah, but we'll get to that one.
Yeah.
Um, let's see, and yeah, I really think her vocal styling pairs really well with a softer rock sound.
Yes, and I mean they do some more interesting things in this one as well. They got some fun reverb on the main guitar with a little bit of warble to give it a interesting character, and there's a bit of glockenspiel in there with a vibraphone effect, which is a nice fun sound.
Yeah, very very light. Um, very light percussion on this one.
Mm-hmm. It almost didn't sound like glockenspiel, because normally glockenspiel is very harsh. They really worked this one over to make sure it wasn't sticking out there.
This may be okay. So I'm looking at the personnel for this song, and it says the percussion on this song is drums and gong. So maybe like a very small gong,
No. Smaller gongs are harsher. It would be a big one.
or maybe a very big gong.
Yeah. Because you're thinking of when you smack the gong hard and it makes the gong noise, but you can also take a rubber mallet and drag it over the gong and also gently tap it, and it just kind of provides a rumbly noise.
So maybe that's maybe they used a gong.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't glockenspiel, maybe it was gong. It definitely was metal, I can tell you that. But especially there at the very end, it sounded like glockenspiel.
Yeah, but very chill song. It kind of rides into this very smooth, like you said, warbly bridge between the chorus and the verse, which is quite nice.
Mm-hmm. Jump to track number 3 if you're ready.
Yes, track number 3, Blue Letter. This one picks up the energy a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of whiplash. The slow end on the last one kind of exacerbates it a little bit, but it's all right. We pick back up pretty quick.
Yeah, and fun fact, this is the one song in this album not written by anyone in Fleetwood Mac. It's written by the brothers Richard and Michael Curtis.
And I would say it's kind of obvious because this sounds country rock.
Though there are some, well, maybe not country, but folkier cuts on this album.
When I say country, I mean, actual country, early country. Not whatever we have now.
Right. You're right. It's got almost like kind of almost like a little bit of a 50s throwback rock vibe to it.
It sounds kind of cliche, I'll be honest. And I think it's late enough that it did not help establish the cliche. So it probably was cliche in the 70s as well.
It's not it's got like a fun little guitar solo at like the 1 minute point.
Yeah,
it's like at the song,
but it's so far back in the mix, and it's still got the filtering on it, so it kind of hides. It's a little shy, I would have liked to see it a little bit higher. I say so far back. It's a little bit back in the mix. I would like to see it just a little bit higher in the mix and maybe the filtering off, so it kind of stands more front and center for the solo, as opposed to still being a background instrument and playing a solo.
Hey, well, it's about a turbulent relationship. That's kind of new for Fleetwood Mac, right?
Is it?
No. I think that's every one of their songs.
I'm pretty sure every single album has had relationship problem songs. But yeah, this one was okay, but kind of cliche.
Nothing
sound.
super big to talk about for this one.
No. But speaking of big, jumping to track number 4.
Yeah, track number 4, Rihanna. Which,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that this is probably is the biggest song off of this album.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Well, what would your other argument be?
We'll get to it. I would argue Landslide.
Landslide's a popular one of theirs, but not nearly as much as Rhiannon.
Really? Okay, that's fair. I mean, the guitar line in this one is pretty iconic. You know what it is pretty much from the get-go.
Oh, well, I might stand corrected. Looking at the Spotify plays, Rhiannon has 300 million plays. Landslide has 500 million. So, yeah, not
looks
even
like
close.
Spotify sides with me on this one.
I stand corrected.
This is one of the more famous songs, though. I agree.
You identify this the most with Fleetwood Mac, though. Just with that, I guess it kind of has all their kind of signature Fleetwood Macisms. Definitively soft rock.
Yes.
Maybe a little bit of blues in there. Some very, very delightful vocal harmonies.
Mm-hmm. Nice haunting lyrics.
And a simple but infectious melody.
Yes. Yeah, no mistaking that guitar line for anything else.
Which is, speaking of the lyrics, I was looking this up of who Rhiannon is. And this is a song written and performed by Stevie Nicks.
Mm-hmm.
Rhiannon is a Welsh legend. She's a witch. It's like a Welsh goddess.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though, Cooper. She found that out after finishing the song.
Oh, did she? No. It says Nicks discovered the Rhiannon character in the early 1970s through a novel called Triad. So actually, she knew that Rhiannon was a witch and then wrote the song.
I see. Because maybe I misread the page then, but I was looking as well. But the way I read it, it's she wrote the song. She's like, actually, this fits pretty well with this thing that I didn't know about.
You're wrong.
Wow. I was just looking at the page.
That's what you get for correcting me about Landslide. I kid. I'm joking.
But yeah, great song. It gets a little long in the tooth around the 3:15 mark, but that's just when the guitar solo comes in to fade the song out, which is just what it needs right then.
Oh yeah, a lot of these songs end with the fade, the classic rock fade.
These are some pretty long fades as well.
Oh yeah, man. The last song of this album has a wicked long fade.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But no, I mean, this is one of their lead singles, obviously one of their biggest hits off this album.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it kind of exemplifies the good things about Fleetwood Mac. The ability to take kind of this really simple melody and vocalization and kind of, make it into an infectious song.
Rolling on to track number 5 then.
Track number 5, Over My Head.
This one, we got the fade out on the last song, but we get the slow fade in on this one.
The much more rare fade in.
Which I dig it. I like it. They kind of hit me by surprise. Like, ooh, fade in. I like this. This is different. This is nice. Especially into a nice chill song.
And a lot of chill songs on this one.
Yeah.
But another Christine McVie song.
And we get some nice depth to the song. It's not overly dense. We get some bongos sprinkled over the top, which you got to have some bongo on a nice slow song.
It's the bongo adds a little bit of a character on this one. Of course, another song about a turbulent relationship.
Of course.
About perhaps maybe this one's actually about Lindsey Buckingham, because Fleetwood Mac had a lot of interrelations within their own band.
Mm-hmm.
Not the most healthy workplace environment with Fleetwood Mac. But I do quite like this song. Like I said, you got the bongos, but it's also got almost a I don't know, the guitar at times almost strikes me as having like a banjo-like quality.
I didn't really pick up on that at all.
Or maybe closer to like a blues twang, or approaching it, which I think Fleetwood Mac kind of flirts with throughout this album.
Yeah, especially in these. I mean, again, as we say, most of the songs are slower, but yeah, they definitely are kind of treading that line of soft rock, blues, folk at times, just kind of dipping in and out of everything. And
they never have overly complicated songs on here.
No. And this one has a nice long outro that Goes very well with the style of the song. It's a bit repetitive overall, which is okay because the calm nature kind of help just nice keeps it nice as opposed to annoying.
Yeah, this album is very simple in a good way,
Mm-hmm.
where each song just really presents you with a lot of different ideas, and it's got its core, and it just kind of it plays that out. Um, but the chorus are typically strong enough that they can support the entire song.
Jumping to track number 6, if
Yes,
you're ready.
track number 6, Crystal, another Buckingham song.
I'm going to be a bit controversial here, Cooper.
Hmm?
I know I'm normally a big proponent of synth, but I can't say I'm the biggest fan of what they got going on in this one.
I would have to agree, actually.
I can see what they're going for. It works, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah, this might be a song where this gets a little too soft.
Yeah.
This is dang near a liquid rock. Where this is the longest song in the album, a little over 5 minutes,
which is a bit of a detractor for it as well.
Yeah, and it's got that kind of synthy organ thing going on, with some acoustic guitar, a little bit of drums, but it's a very, very low energy song.
It kind of sticks with that ethereal styling, and the synth kind of sounds like you're playing crystals, but it's so soft. And plus, they've got a minute-long fade. No. I'm all for the fade out, but you don't fade unless it's the last song on the album, you don't fade for more than a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really need to stretch out this song.
No.
Or album, for that matter. Yeah, I mean, the synth's kind of nice, but I don't know. This one kind of is a little too ethereal for me.
Too sleepy. Jump to track
you
number 7.
You a honk shoe sleeper when you're listening to Fleetwood Mac?
Yes. I'm more of a me.
Me. Track number 7, first track of side B. Say You Love Me. Another Christine McVie song.
This one, yeah, I mean, it's I'd say another one of their more popular songs. Another one of the famous ones from this album. And got to get the tambourine in there right at the get-go.
Tambourine and the banjo.
Mm-hmm. And it's got some really, really nice harmonies stacked up at the start.
Oh yeah, I mean it's got that kind of folksy backing, and like you said, that chorus is solid.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with that bridge leading back to the chorus.
I mean, overall, it's a pretty simple song. It's got some shorter loops, but the heavy focus on the vocals really, really helps.
This is a very straightforward song.
Yes,
but
one way to put it.
But it gets the job done.
Yeah, it's simple, but it's not bad simple.
No.
Bass guitar has some nice gruffness to it. That's not something we've heard before, but yeah, that's all I've got.
Yeah, that's all I got either. On to track number 8, Landslide.
The most famous song from the album?
The most popular song from the album. Which is also another Stevie Nicks song. Coincidence? The 2 most popular songs on this one?
Yeah.
And it's also, I mean, we're talking about simple songs, but this one, in terms of instrumentation is the most simple. You got Stevie Nicks' vocals and Buckingham on acoustic, and that's it.
There's a little bit of electric guitar.
No? It's actually, yeah, there is a little electric guitar.
Yeah, don't correct me there.
But a very simple song.
Yes. I'm just sorry. I'm reading.
reading up on Landslide.
Oh, I got my pages of songs mixed up in my head. I just wanted to check before I said something. But it's, man, the acoustic. I mean, I know we said before Crystal was way too soft. This is even softer, but it works.
Yeah, I mean, it leans into it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's focused on vocals and without a kind of slick acoustic work going on in the background. It's just solid songwriting.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a couple of stacked acoustics. You got the electric guitar that comes in a little bit in the middle and a little bit after that, and like once at 240ish, you get a couple of distant backing vocals. But other than that, it is dead simple. But it just works.
I think it's to its benefit.
Yeah, I will say, hard cut, which I'm normally a fan of. Not the best on this Kama song. This is when you do a fade.
Yeah, ironically.
I know. It's like Kama songs fade, rock songs cut. Take a little bit of fade from the minute-long fade and put it here.
It's not like it's not a hard cut. There's a little bit of like dead time before the next song.
But it could have been, I think a nice little fade would have been good.
Which, speaking of the next song, which has almost a little bit of a fade in.
Yeah, well, it's got both. Jump to track number 9.
Track number 9, World Turning.
It's got a nice slow fade in, which is much needed. The Landslide, you can't just come in blazing.
And you got to build up that energy a bit.
Not really any progression in this one.
I mean, the first like minute and a half or so. Now it's kind of really got that fancy guitar playing going on in the back, but kind of the drum starts kicking in. Okay, maybe that's closer to like 3 minutes of the song. Yeah. But
well, we around the halfway point we get they mix things up a little bit, but the energy doesn't break out like it seemed to be building to, and the energy proceeds to drop and then fade for the last like 2 minutes of the song.
Yeah, the song feels like it could have a little more busting open. It's got like, that classic country rock kind of, build up and vibe, but
and then it starts fading at the halfway point. It does get quieter from the halfway point to the end.
Yeah, so it's an interesting non-traditional song structure, I'd say. I'm not going to say that it should be that, or that way at least.
Yeah, it's not great.
I still think it's a fun little song.
It feels like half a song. It feels like it builds up to something and then it gets to the point where it's supposed to break out and they're like, actually, we need to start fading out. We were supposed to clock out 5 minutes ago. So they just kind of drop out one by one and turn the volume on the amps down until the song ends. So you can't have a slow fade in and a slow fade out.
Yeah, it's this one does feel like it should have had more going on in it. I still think it's kind of fun, but kind of wish they had done more with it.
Not done a 2-minute fade out on a 4-minute song.
Here we'll go on to track number 10 then, Sam.
Yeah, much better.
Track number 10, Sugar Daddy. Which is it's a very straightforward rock song.
It is. Did you notice how bad the mixing was?
Not particularly. I mean, Christine is a little far back in the mix.
Literally everything is in front of her vocals, even the tambourine.
Man, I didn't notice it like distractingly so.
That was the first thing that popped out to me.
Maybe she was staying a little farther back from it. Maybe she was recording through her through the wrong mic.
Literally, the only thing that's mixed behind her voice is the rock organ, the old school rock organ, which they get bonus points for. That's nice and fun. But then we get to the guitar solo, and the beginning of the guitar solo is mixed behind the rock organ, and then about a couple bars in, they're like, oh yeah, this is the solo. So then it comes to the front, but it's like the mixing was all over the place for this song.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little off kilter. I mean, I wasn't super distracted by it, but I can understand that being kind of a negative.
And like, I mean, normally I wouldn't be so nitpicky, but this is Fleetwood Mac. This is their 10th album. Why is this so badly mixed?
And I mean, the rest of the songs on this album are pretty well
Yeah,
mixed.
no, the rest are fine. It's just this one. The vocals are so far back. Like, I was trying to listen to the vocals, but you can barely hear them. The tambourine is in front of the vocals. That's not how it's supposed to be.
They must really like that tambourine.
Yeah. It's just very weird choices in this song. Very much, we went from landslide to hard B-sides.
Here, we'll go into the last song of the album. How about that? Track number 11, I'm So Afraid.
I was so afraid the song wasn't going to end.
Which is a Lindsey Buckingham song. I like this song.
It's fine.
I like its change of style. This one's a little harder, a little rougher, a little less soft.
Yeah, it still suffers from weird mixing. Not as badly as Sugar Daddy, but it's still got some weirdness in there.
Oh, well, how so?
I didn't take many notes, Cooper, I'll be honest. I wrote 3 sentences.
I think this is one of the better songs on the album.
I think you're wrong, but
it's got a strong bass line. I like the ghostly vocals on Buckingham here. And like I said, it's kind of got more of dramatic guitar performances on it. Chunks a little bit of a harder edge, which, is kind of lacking on the rest of the album.
Did we listen to the same song?
Yeah, I'm So Afraid. Do you not have those like kind of soaring guitars at the 1 minute point? Drums aren't going super hard, but good bass guitar performance. They're kind of soaring, and there's almost like an electrical drone at points.
This one just really dragged for me.
I think you're. I guess it. Did you listen to the 2017 remaster?
I don't think I did.
Okay.
Let me double check.
Yeah, because that was the one I was listening through for this one. That may explain why we're having slightly different opinions on the mixing.
Yeah, I didn't listen to the remaster. I listened to. Mine doesn't. The one I listened to does not say remaster. So that might explain it. Why you didn't think the mixing on Sugar Daddy was so shit.
Well, that would explain it.
Because
they fixed.
Yeah, because the one I listened to, I just listened to Fleetwood Mac on Spotify, and it just says 1975. It doesn't say remastered on anything.
I didn't know the unremastered version was there. Well, that explains that.
Okay, well the unremastered Sugar Daddy is absolutely horrible, and I'm So Afraid didn't sound anything like what you're talking about.
And well, I guess that shows the importance of mixing there, huh?
Yeah. I was wondering why you're like, no, Sugar Daddy was fine. I'm like, Cooper, you couldn't hear the vocals.
Remember, kids, pay your sound engineers.
Yeah. Also, make sure you listen to the same version of the album. I didn't even know the remaster was on here. Oh, yeah, now I see 2017 remaster.
I didn't know the unremastered version was on here.
Yeah, I was trying.
I tried to find it, but
it was the first one that came up for me.
Wow. Well, now you're getting both reviews at the same time.
Yeah. Well, was Landslide remastered for that one as well?
Oh yeah, they were all remastered.
Oh, okay. Well, see, the most listened to version is the unremastered one. You see on the top popular.
Yeah. Well, must be a popular song.
Yeah. So you should go listen to the unremastered one then and see how it compares. Because that's the version I always hear. The more you know. But yeah,
the more you know.
I'm So Afraid on the original album, not very good. The B-sides were very B-side on the original. No wonder they remastered.
I think it was pretty good on the remaster version. So obviously they did something different.
Yeah. It was again, like I said, there was still some weird mixing, so they probably just fixed all that and it actually made it not just a muddy mess.
Well, that is the end of the album, and it has a very long fade out.
Yeah.
That's, I'm assuming, true is on both of them.
Yeah, which, I mean, I am fine with a very long fade out on the last song. That feels fitting. I kind of like that. It's kind of poetic, but I don't like a long fade. I don't like a 2-minute long fade out after you had a 30-second fade in on the 9th song and 11 song album. That's just stupid. That also might be why you thought World Turning wasn't as bad, because, God, the World Turning fades for 2 minutes in the original edit. It hits the midpoint and then starts fading from then until the end, and it's not good.
Oh, that explains maybe some of your differing opinions. Well, then I'm interested to see how you rank this one then.
Yeah. Well, we got to do favorite and least favorite first, Cooper.
Well, of course. Oh, in that case, what's your favorite, Sam?
Favorite, I'm going to have to say Landslide. I forget that this is a Fleetwood Mac song, I'll be honest. It doesn't sound very Fleetwood Mac aside from the vocals. But I quite enjoy it. It's a really, really nice, just low-key, calm, very beautiful. I feel like you either do, with acoustic songs, they're either literally perfect or just kind of meh. And this is one of those. This is probably as close as you can get to a perfect song.
Yeah, it's quite good.
Yeah, it is. There's a reason it's listened to so much. What about you? What's your favorite?
That's a good one. I might go with Rhiannon.
Yeah.
As my favorite. Very good song. And I'm still giving a shout out to I'm So Afraid. At least the 2017 remix is
I want you to
good.
go listen to the original now and see what you think.
Yeah, I mean, again, mixing can make or break a song.
Yeah, because for me, that was probably the third worst song on the album.
At least the remix they did was quite good. Yeah. Well, what was your least favorite then?
Least favorite, World Turning, absolutely. Sugar Daddy gets a nice very close second. But like I said, with World Turning, the energy, just they build to the halfway point of the song, they hit drums a couple of times, and then it fades for 2 minutes. There's no the build doesn't have a payoff. The progression is weird. It feels like half a song. And then for Sugar Daddy, which the more I think about it, it might actually be the worst. The mixing in that is just horrible. Granted, I'm talking about the original edits, not the 2017 edit that you listened to?
Yes.
So hope maybe they fixed that in the remaster. I don't know how you can fix World Turning. I mean, if they get rid of the 2 minute fade, that'll fix quite a lot of the issues I have.
They didn't do that.
Yeah. The 2 minute fade is pretty egregious with the 30-second fade in on a 4 minute song. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the B-sides on the original, very B-side. What about you? What's your least favorite?
I'd probably have to go with Crystal. As my least favorite. It was just too long, too boring for my taste. Too much salt, too soft of rock. It just didn't strike the right balance that we could see throughout some of the other songs in the album. I think that led to that being a little bit too low energy of a lead out on side A here.
Yeah. It certainly had the most issues that couldn't be fixed in a remaster.
Yes, true.
All right, well, we gotta rate him now, Cooper. We gotta rate the
That's
album.
true. We are at the end of the album, so we have to do our rating. So, Sam, would you care to explain our rating system for those who aren't familiar with it?
Sure, Cooper. So here at Audio Shop, we actually worked on Planes. The Cars sequel movie. We really were big fans of the Cars movies, but we were a bit too young to work on them. And we got slated to work on the next one, and by Jove, don't you know it, they made it a Planes movie. Sadly, we had already started our podcast where we were working on the animation. So it's car themed, even though we've got a very tenuous connection to the Cars franchise. So we themed it after a car dealership. So we've got, showroom, that's the best of the best, the cream of the crop. This is the stuff that you have to listen to. And then we've got scrapyard, bottom of the barrel, worst of the worst. Not even worth it throwing it in the trash. Just get it out of the house as soon as physically possible. And then high and low and in between, and based on our mood. So Cooper, what would you say this album would be? I should specify the 2017 remaster.
The 2017 remaster.
We accidentally reviewed two separate albums because I listened to the original and you listened to the remaster. But that's okay.
Well, it's like two reviews of one here.
Yeah.
You're getting the bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of the 2017 remaster, I'd have to give it a like new. It's not my favorite of all the Fleetwood Mac albums. I think I reviewed Rumors better whenever we did it on the show. I still think it's got quite a few strengths to it. Obviously, this being their 10th album, they definitely found their sound at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're definitely exploring it well within this album. A couple slower or kind of missed songs here that are definitely skips. This is by no means a perfect album, but I think its strengths outweigh its weaknesses. And if you're a fan of soft rock, certainly, this will I think that'll scratch that itch. And I Fleetwood Mac's always kind of had a bit of a timeless sound, at least in my opinion. Or, even though this came out 50 years ago, still just its simplicity kind of gives it a timeless quality, which I think is quite a good attribute in this album.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Sam? What would you rank it?
I would also rate it probably a low like new. The highs are high, the lows are mid tier lows. I would say there's probably not too much gained from listening to this in an album format. It is listenable in album format, but you probably can just skip around to the good ones. You're not going to lose too much. And definitely don't listen to after you listen to listen to the original up through Landslide and then switch over to the remasters for 9, 10, 11. Because holy cow, they are pretty bad in the original. And it sounds like they fixed a lot of the issues I had with them, which they are fixable issues in a remaster.
It's a mixing issue.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Not a song writing or playing issue.
Right. It was just mixing and fading and that kind of stuff that you can do in post. So hopefully those versions, I'll have to go listen. Hopefully those versions are a little bit better than what they were on the original.
Okay, well, there we go. We made it to the end of our review.
That's the album. Now we're gonna roll on over. Get it? Like tire. To the
I never got that until this point.
That's why I'm here, Cooper, to explain. To the spare tire, which is just whatever else we've been listening to. I've been listening to a lot of ELO. Surprise, surprise.
You're in the top 0.005% or something?
Yes, I was. I also have been doing more Mystery Skulls. Been on my Mystery Skulls kick still. I started listening through a bunch of the King Gizzard albums I've missed. But as I started to do that, I was then away from my desk for like a week. So I haven't gone back to them. I had to be at a building where I wasn't allowed my phone. So
that would make it harder to listen to music.
Yeah. So that's what I've been listening to. More of the same podcasts. When I was working on stuff, I have been trying to catch up on podcasts because I haven't listened to those in quite some time. So I probably have close to 30 or 35 podcasts to listen to.
I do like a good podcast. I'm a bit of a fan of a good history podcast myself. But this isn't a podcast. This is a music podcast.
That's just a self-fulfilling cycle, isn't it? A podcast reviewing podcasts.
Yeah, that's just that's Ouroboros, personified. We're not that indulgent. Now, in terms of what I've been listening to, Ryuichi Sakamoto released a new album, which is actually a covers album.
Ooh.
It's kind of like think of that Santana album we listened to, but not bad. Where different people were contributing to each of the songs.
That was the only defining factor of that Santana album, though, Cooper.
Well, the other factor is different people on each song.
Oh, see,
this one is actually advertised as such.
I see.
As opposed to being like Santana, and then it was mostly not. So that was quite interesting. Also listened to the new Spoon album. I say new. It was released 10 months ago, but which I also quite liked. It's a kind of a very kind of hard rock and roll album. Spoon's a bit of a classic band, so good to see them put out a new album. Beyond that, me and some of my old high school friends, every year we take our Spotify top 100 songs and we compile them all onto a playlist. And we did that again this year, so I've also been listening through some of their music, kind of getting a taste of, because top 100, that's what you've been listening to. That's the statistics, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can say what you like, but this is the data to back it up. So I've been listening through that to see, what my friends have been listening to. I uploaded it myself as well. I have received several texts of people clowning on me. So if that makes you feel better. Some of my top song choices, but whatever. That's part of the fun.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what they say if they heard some of my top songs.
They say, why is there so much ELO? It's like 80% ELO.
It is 80% ELO, and why did you listen to the first song from the 1970s War of the Worlds musical 45 times?
That's part of the fun of the playlist. You put it on shuffle and try to guess who it is. It's like, why is the Zulu theme from Civilization 5 on here?
Civ has some pretty good music.
It was a good song, I will say.
Yeah, mine would be pretty easy to guess. It would just be ELO, Mystery Skulls, probably some Organ concertos. That's probably my top 100.
Yeah, well, I can shoot that list to you after the podcast, Sam.
I don't have enough time. How many friends is this? How many hundreds of songs?
No. I'll just shoot my own.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't think I have time to listen to 500 songs.
Just do it while you sleep, forehead.
I don't think I'd be able to sleep.
I fell asleep with headphones on.
No, I can't do that.
I did it on Friday while we were watching that that Scrooge movie. Yeah. I literally woke up at like 6 a.m. My laptop was on the ground, and
wait, did you not get into bed?
I did. It was just on the edge of the bed, and
I
then
see. Okay.
Fell off, and I didn't wake up.
We watched Santa Claus is Coming to Town, the Rankin Bass. You fell asleep, and then Jenna went to bed, and so Carbon and myself and Pratik watched Santa Claus is Coming to Town. You were still there, but you were asleep.
I think I made it to maybe to Marley in that Christmas Carol movie we were watching. Yeah, it's all dark after that.
That was a pretty good one. That was one of my more favorite renditions of Christmas Carol, I think. The Rankin Bass Christmas Carol.
Marley and Marley. Whoa.
He's actually more repentful from the get-go. Like, as soon as he sees himself from a third person, he's like, oh God, that's me? Instead of, more traditional where it's not until he's shown dead that he repents. It's right from the get-go in the Rankin Bass one. It's like, oh my God, that's what I do? That's what I did yesterday? I'm that much of a shithead? Oh crap. And then it just goes on from there.
I mean, if a literal ghost came up to me and said, if you don't change your ways, you're going to hell, I'd be like, well, okay. I buy it.
Yeah,
frankly, it took Scrooge I don't know. It took Scrooge a little long.
It felt more genuine, Is because there's been some of the ones where the Ghost of Christmas Past, usually he's like oh, she never, when they're talking about his past fiance, oh, she never understood the value of money, blah, 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 blah. But for this one it was, oh God, why did I ever break up? Why was I such a jackass? If I wasn't such a jackass, she wouldn't have left me. Like, it was immediate. He was such a crotchety old guy because he was just so full of regret, which I think was very refreshing compared to the way it's usually shown. Anyway, this isn't a Christmas movie review podcast.
Well, we will be trying to do a Christmas album next week.
Yes, we'll have to figure that out. Oh, we were talking about doing the Drifters.
Oh, yes, I'd be down for that.
Just because it has one of the best versions of White Christmas.
I'd be quite down for that.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Unless there was another Christmas album you had a hankering for.
Oh, none in particular.
I believe you mean particular.
That is also true. This is the Drifters White Christmas. Are you sure that's was that even on an album?
Maybe it was just a single.
Well, we'll talk. We'll talk about this offline.
It was just a single. Okay, maybe we might have to find something else to do then. Anyway, keep an eye on social media for that. If you're listening on YouTube, I guess I should start with Twitch. If you're listening on Twitch and you like what you hear and you want to hear more of it, you can scroll down the page. There's a picture of Jeff Lynne. He's the guy with the aviators and the fake afro. That'll take you to YouTube, where all the past episodes, minus the one Supertramp Lost to Time show, and I guess it's just that one at this point. If you're listening on YouTube and you want to listen live, Sundays 8 p.m. Eastern, usually, is when we'll go. And if Twitter happens to still exist, Cooper...
Well, you can follow us up. Audio Shop Pod, that's POD. We'll let you know what we're listening to and when we're listening to it. Or if we suddenly cancel due to having to watch a show of someone complaining about a air fryer.
Okay, well,
Hypothetically.
I don't get out much.
No, I'm not saying. I wanted you to go.
So yeah, keep an eye on that for what we're listening to next week. It's not going to be Drifters because apparently that was just a single. Maybe we can review it as a bonus.
I hope there's other Christmas albums out there.
I'm not sure. They're pretty few and far between, I think. Anyway, thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time.
See you later.